What do you love most about Nicaragua, and would you ever move back to the States?
Bloody hell no. You couldn't tell me.
All right, guys, so today we're going to cover moving to Nicaragua 2021. We have Paul Daemen with us from Nicaragua Real Estate Team. Paul, how are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Thanks for allowing us to participate in LA Data Nerds. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, man. I really appreciate when we were chatting before. You have a lot of experience in everything Nicaragua, and you're the man to go to. So we have the man, the myth, the legend here. And tell me a little bit about your background and how you ended up came to living in Nicaragua.
Well, a long story short, as they always go, because it could be a long one. But in the quick sense, I've been in brokerage now with my wife for 20 years. Oh, you're smart. You have a cup of coffee in front of you. I should have brought mine, but yeah, I have this. That's straight water.
You're good. You're good.
So we've been in brokerage. Got a stroke approximately 7 years ago. And that started the whole ball rolling that I basically said, I got to slow down, got to get a different lifestyle. How can I get a better lifestyle, slow down, enjoy what I still do? So we started looking and we concentrated on Latin America. Why? I grew up in Latin America. I spent 15 of my primary years, meaning growing up in Latin America. My wife is Chilean. She grew up and left at age 2 to Canada, traveled all over Latin America. And so we were just sitting talking, and I said, well, let's do what I used to teach. I used to be a teacher, a graduate school as part-time. And I said, well, let's do what I tell companies to do. So we did a an Excel sheet, wrote the variables we wanted. We looked at Chile, we looked at Ecuador, we looked at Colombia. They all fell off for various reasons. The biggest reason being distance from the U.S. We have 4 kids, and for us, it's very important to be able, on a day's notice, get out of town, so to speak, and see the kids for whatever reason, right? So then we ended up with Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and Mexico. Mexico dropped off because we felt that Mexico did not offer us what we were looking for. And one, we still felt that there were too many expats. We wanted to find a country that had less expats and where you could still connect with the pueblo, with the local community, where you could still enjoy being part of a Latino community, right? Some people won't understand that, but that's what we wanted. And so the long and the short, we ended up with Nicaragua. We spent a lot of time flying. We already had flown to all these other countries. I've been to 57 countries. So I had an opportunity. I could have gone to Vietnam, been there. I could have gone to Asia. I could have gone to Europe. I'm Dutch. I mean, to us, we had specific needs and specific wants. We didn't want to spend more than $1,200 on our living expense. That was as a goal. This is what we want to do. Can we do more? Yeah, everybody can do more, but that was not what we wanted. We wanted to have a simple life, defined simple, and a good quality of life. So yeah, here we are. We've been here 6 years. We live in if you could see it, a very open environment here in the house. We have 5 air conditioning units. I've used it 0 time.
Really?
Every room has 1 or 2 fans, ceiling fans. Yes, right now the ceiling fan is on. We live on 4 acres. We have 150 fruit trees. We got 5 vegetable gardens. We got a spice garden. We grow papaya, we grow, tomatillos, all the different spices you want, aguacate, you name it.
Yeah.
So we feel we're in heaven.
That's amazing. You said originally, what state were you from?
So we were living in the Midwest. So what I always tell the people when they say, what happened? I was on the yellow brick road with Dorothy, and I took the wrong turn, and we ended up in Nicaragua. It's a very common thing to happen, right? Let's be honest.
Happens all the time. No.
All the time. Yeah.
I understand you help clients like relocate to Nicaragua.
Right.
So if you need help, you're the man to help them.
Well, you need help, and I can tell you from my own experience, we use 2 different methods to get residency, and that allows us now also to talk about how to get the residency. Not that I'm an attorney, we don't espouse that, but at least we can tell people when they come to Nicaragua that this is the things that you need to look for. This is the things that you need to be aware of. And that's basically what I won't call it preach, but that's what we talk about.
That's good. So let's dive a little bit into the real estate. So for this section, so real estate in Nicaragua, give us an overview and update on like the current status of the market.
So the current status is, compared to, let's say, last year, we are still seeing growth, and the growth is solid. What we have seen, so if you look at COVID or post-2018 issues that we have, political issues, and now with COVID, what we have seen is a phenomena which is the opposite of the U.S. So you have less employment, you have less opportunities, less places to work. You as a household say, well, let me reduce and find another place. So that's one. The other one is people that are living, let's say, at $1,000 a month. They say, you know what? I can now switch to a $500 a month property and get same or equal. You know what? I'm jumping to the next property. So we have seen a lot of switching of residential, as it relates to the rental market. And that has then impacted the sales. Sales have been slow, but we have finally seen an uptick. And the uptick for the market, I concentrate on the expat community, colonial homes, the beaches of Nicaragua, which would be from San Juan del Sur all the way to León. It's a big stretch, but we have several team members that work with us. So the price point compared to pre-2018, we have seen it what we call a market correction in the 30 to 50%, which is significant. Okay, yeah. It's significant, especially if you had just bought a house in 2017 and suddenly you decide, hey, I don't want to be here anymore. You want to sell. You're taking a loss. You're going to take a loss. We had our best month, which was last month. For our own team, we did 7 transactions. And so we were very, very pleased. We are looking at 3 transactions. We closed one today in this month. Yes. We already have one for next month, and we have one booked for September. So as it relates for business, we feel very, very positive. So when you look at real estate, you also have to look at who is buying and what is happening.
Yes.
So what we have seen is the trend that people from US, Canada, Australia, and Europe are saying we're fed up. Fed up for the political situation. We're fed up COVID. We're fed up, just fed up. We want to regain our lifestyle. And the change in that, the change in the sense of people talking about that has been significant. I mean, truly significant. Where we have seen now in our market in Granada, we are now on average at 70% occupancy. Unheard of. Honestly, unheard of. So I work also in property management with a group, and with the amount of properties we have under management, which is a little bit over 60 properties, which is significant in our community, to say that we have 56, 60 already rented. And it's hard, to find somebody to say, well, Paul, I want this specific thing. No, right now it is the opposite. You can't come to me, Brian, and say, hey, Paul, I want this specifically, this location with this and this and this. No, this is what I have to offer, take it or leave it. And now I'm going back to the people and say, these are the 2 properties that fit your budget. Take it or leave it, because it will be gone within a day or 2. And then they get upset and, oh my God, it's already gone. I told you it's going to go, So that is the good part. In the transactional wise, seeing the most transaction in our market of Granada is in the 70, 150 with one outlier at 250. In San Juan del Sur, we see the average being a lot higher. It's almost double. So we're seeing it at, let's say, 100 to 250. So it's all market, right?
So yeah,
and
so
it's also how much
talk,
money people have disposable. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Let's talk about that. So if you're thinking about buying a house in Nicaragua, what's that kind of range, like for price-wise? If you want to purchase?
As you know, it's very, very difficult. It comes down to what you're looking for. Construction-wise, the cost of construction has gone up significantly because cement, the metal, ironwork, and all that has gone up. Labor, is still pretty much the same to a certain degree. So the price-wise, like I said, 250, 300. People are coming with the ability to pay 150 for a house. What do they get? They can get a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, maybe a pool, maybe furnished, maybe newer, or maybe it needs to be renovated. I mean, that's a problem, right? Because we have right now, under my wife and my portfolio, we got 85 exclusive listings. And so we represent exclusively the seller, which is very unique in this market, so that they have what we call representation. A lot of the other agents work what we call an open market. And so we represent the seller, which we feel is more helpful to the parties involved in the transaction. Very much a U.S. system. And here it's cash. Cash is king. So if you walk up, let's say I have a property that we sold last month. It was at 325. The gentleman started negotiating. We ended up at 250. And why did it sell? Well, because the guy came with a bucket of cash and said, I got the cash. You want me to close? You want me to buy? Yeah. A cash is king, and it's legal in the sense it has to go through the banking system. It's not that you can come with a bag and say, I got cash in this bag. No, it doesn't work. We do use the banking system. You cannot come with a suitcase of cash and say, I want to buy a house. I mean, you could, but not through us.
Got it. So I'm curious, so if, what about new construction? So if I wanted to have a house newly constructed, how much about would that cost? Right. And let's say just like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, maybe a normal, like your average kind of house like you would have in
average.
States.
But again, this is what I would say to you. If I can show you a house that has 80% you want, and I can get you in now, and you remodel it to really fit your need at a lower cost with more square footage, more land, and the land is already ready, meaning it's taken care of, it has trees, it has a yard, whatever. Wouldn't you prefer that than starting from green, from scratch?
I think a certain demographic would. I think for the people who want, like, they have like their dream house, like exactly designed, like they have that like kind of in mind, where they're not in a rush, maybe a year or two.
Right. I would say you're looking at least 80. Well, which is surprising when I say it, because I also know some of the costs in the U.S. But you would look, just for construction-wise, 80. Used to be 60, but it moved up with the metals and all that. So we have concentrated, because that's the ask. Our client base is ask. When we talk to them about maybe it's not the right time to do new construction, because it also has a delay of anywhere from 10 to 12 months. Then you need, if you're not going to be here, you need supervision. If you're going to rent, and let's say you rent for $1,000 a month, that's $12,000. And then the headaches, then this and that. I can get you in a house tomorrow. What do you prefer? And the land prices have not gone down to the point where you can say, well, I'm going to win with land, I'm going to win with construction. Because some people that I think that truly want to do it is because they think in their mind, I can do it cheaper because I did it back in the States or in Canada. I can do it cheaper, but you know, this is Nicaragua. This is a whole different baby, a whole different environment.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, I can start bringing a shovel and start to do it. No, it's different.
Got it.
And you're going to pay for that cost.
Yes. You mentioned that supervision. Is that's something you guys help with? Like if stuff like, I wanted to build a new house and you guys help oversee that, like with supervision, or do
you we could. I mean, there's enough people out there that can do that. I mean, Ghislaine has been in that part of the business because she comes from new home construction and retirees and new development. So she does understand that. But again, I mean, yes, it can be done. Okay. Let me put it this way. It can be done. It is available. And if you're ready to do it, give me a call. We'll show you how to do it. That's all I do.
Yeah. It does sound like it sounds like an endeavor, building a new house. Like
it is an endeavor. Yeah. I mean, Ghislaine tells me at times, if the guy wants to build, let him build. Yes, but you know what? I always think it's so funny. People want to buy here. They buy here. And everybody says, well, you don't have to use a real estate agent. You don't have to do this. And then when you start listening, that everybody said, oh, I have a problem, I have an issue, and guess what? I didn't use a real estate agent. I used an attorney. Well, an attorney only knows the legal part. An attorney doesn't understand how to evaluate a house, how to look at, market competitiveness of a property versus another property, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so then they come back and you say, well, but did you do this? No, I didn't do that. I didn't know I could do that. Well, but that's why you hire a professional, like ourselves that have been doing this for 20 years. We have been educated through the American system. We have used all our training and we sold a lot of properties back in the States. And to sell property here is not as different as you do it in the States. You get somebody that helps you in that process.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, because you're explaining that the system of the American system, maybe the traditional way of how we do, or how real estate is conducted versus like in Nicaragua and how it's conducted is like, it's a lot different. And stuff. I'm curious about the different areas so if like we're thinking about moving to Nicaragua, like what are some different areas that are like popular and you would recommend?
Yeah, so right now, again, to ask, you've got to look at the profile, so to speak, of the people that are coming, their families. And most families start or end up, so to speak, in San Juan del Sur. Why? Because the perception is it has the best school system and that's where they want to be. But I think it's also other reasons behind it. Dad and mom want to surf. Dad and mom want to be part of other similar lifestyle people, right? Because that's what you really do when you go. And there's a lot of what I call expat communities. And so you can, move to those communities, feel safe and feel that you were part of other like-minded people, okay? So that's one. Then you have what I call the retiree community that is either in San Juan del Sur, which is then are looking at it from a different perspective because they want to look at partying, they want to be able to go drinking and just chillax because, I'm retired. What do? You're just going to chill, go have a beer and enjoy the beach. Yeah. And then you have those that come to, for example.
Let me just pull this up on the map so people can you see the map there?
Yeah.
So this is you said more for like expats.
That is their preferred because that is really where the surf heaven is at, right?
Cool.
Where there's a lot of surfing and there's a strong expat community.
Got it.
Also, you're close to Costa Rica, and we do have some clients that want to be close to Costa Rica. Why? Because to go to Liberia, which is 2 hours from the border inside of Costa Rica to fly out, so versus going to Managua. And it's cheaper to fly from Liberia than going to
right here.
Right there, right.
Got it.
So
Then
that
going
is
all
the other
over.
reason. It's economics, right? So my wife, she just left Sunday, and she went from Liberia to Kansas City via Houston, and it saved her $600 round trip versus going Managua to Miami, including the Airbnb, the travel, the food, and everything. You add it all up, she still saves $600.
Let's go.
So
That's great.
if you go up a little bit towards Managua and you stay towards a little bit south of Managua, there is a town called Granada, which is the colonial city. And there you will have more expats that want to be, enjoy the colonial lifestyle. And like I said, it's a colonial city with a lot of history. Now, San Juan does not have that. They don't have a colonial vibe. San Juan is more of a, beach life. I don't know how else to explain it. And there's a lot of big mansions with air conditioning. You will find a few colonial type of homes, but most homes are what I call closed homes. And then Granada, like I said, it's colonial. We happen to live outside of Granada.
Got it.
And
Interesting.
so that is another reason. Now, there are a few expats that want to live in Managua. Why? Because of the excellent school system. You got a German school system. You got a French school system. You got the American school system. So they live there. Then if you move over, that would be to your right, I think. Yeah. That is where, for example, is Gran Pacifica, Pocho Mil. Several expats live in that area because a little bit higher, and they travel 45 minutes and drop the kids off every day. So they go early, go surfing with the kids, pack them up in the car,
to go
and
to
then
school.
they go to Managua to school.
And then got it.
And they truly commute every day. And they love it where they're living, and it's called Gran Pacifica, or you could go to Pocho Mil, or you could go to Popoyo. I mean, there are various places that you could do that. And then you go north more, and there is Leon, which is, again, a colonial city. And we see people now gravitating to Las Peñitas, Poneloya, where we do have right now like 10 listings for properties for sale. And prices there, I'm going to say, 20 to 30% lower than San Juan del Sur. Why? Because not a lot of people are looking, and the properties are lower price, and they're more beach properties.
Got it.
Than in San Juan del Sur. You have ocean view. Big difference.
In Leon, or over here?
By Leon. So we call it Leon Beaches, that would be Las Peñitas, and that would be Poneloya. And you can go even to down south a little bit, Tránsito, etc.
Got it.
And then you have a lot of Managua professionals that basically say, during the week I work very hard, and in the weekend I want to go stay in my home or rent, or they actually buy a home, and that is their weekend residential home to chillax. Okay, so that's a quick overview what's going on.
Yeah, and that's where just on the Pacific side alone.
Yeah. And then on the Caribbean side, there are people going there, but I'll be frank and honest, I haven't been to the Caribbean. Shame on me. And we already extended to ourselves significantly, but we were able to extend because we have very qualified people in San Juan, very qualified person in Poneloya, Las Peñitas, and Leon. So we are from Granada. We basically cover a 3-hour drive distance. Okay, from Granada to San Juan del Sur, it's an hour 15 minutes. From Granada to Leon is 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. Got it.
Yeah.
And then what's the drive like over to the Pacific side? Like, I guess if you wanted to.
That's a really good question. I'm going to say 6-7 hours. We're going to go in a few weeks. I hope my wife doesn't hear this video because it's a surprise. We're going to go north to Esteli, which is a 3-hour drive. and then we're going to go to Matagalpa just to check it out and just see a different area. I have been to Esteli, very mountainous, beautiful region of Nicaragua, and that is where you find the cigar industry. Very strong industry, great export base, and a few gold mines.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's super cool. So I guess in terms of people, I know top concern, before moving to a foreign country is like the safety. So yeah, tell us a little about like the safety in Nicaragua, like how you feel, your experience, and maybe some of the myths behind maybe what some people,
I think the biggest myth is that it's so dangerous here. The biggest myth, and I think it is because of the U.S. Embassy, it's more of a political myth. There's a political issue, which that it is what it is. Yeah. Every country has a political problem. I mean, you go from anywhere in Latin America, and there's a political discussion and issue. Go to Peru, go to Ecuador, go to anywhere, and you will have it. Argentina, Mexico, you name it. So, politics aside, look it up. Nicaragua is the safest country in Central America. Okay?
I did not
look
know
it
that.
up.
Yeah, I didn't know it.
Look it up. Google safety for women in Costa Rica, and then Google safety for women in Nicaragua. And I'm almost certain that they will say what I just said. It's safer here than anywhere else. My wife walks out. She goes to different places. We had a lady living here. She never wanted to go out, and then she started venturing out. And then she started traveling all over. And she goes, I didn't know it was that safe.
Yeah.
It's in the mind, right? If your mind is willing to explore, then the mind will tell you, go. Don't put a Rolex on, right? Keep your Rolex back home.
Sure.
And be conscious about your environment. Have we had problems? Yeah. My wife lost, or you can call it an attack. To me, the word attack is the wrong word. Somebody threatened her and said, give me your phone. She gave the phone. Like I tell her, and I tell anybody, somebody asks for your phone and they are a menace. What's the phone worth?
Right.
Yes, for me it would be terrible because I got all my pictures in there, right?
Yeah.
But everything is recoverable.
Yes.
Get over with it, right? Was she upset? Bloody hell, she was upset. Did she feel violated? Bloody hell, she was. But, she still feels very much endeared. She still goes out, she walks, she runs, she does her activities, and she doesn't feel constrained.
That's good. Because at the end of the day, that could happen anywhere you live. Like
anywhere.
Someone comes up to you and they're, in a hostile manner. And
New York, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. But here's the myth. And the myth is, if you live in a enclosed community, which I don't live in I live on a farm, right? Yes, I got my 6 dogs. They live outside. They don't live inside the house. They live outside. And they're Rottweiler Dovers. You tell me, right? So that's one. Number 2, if you live in an enclosed community that has security and all, the myth is that you're secure. No. Perception is that you're secure. But reality is you will have the same problem like anybody else. If somebody wants to get into your property, they will get into your property. Okay? You got to remember, we live in the second poorest country of the world. In Latin America is Nicaragua. Second poorest, right? You got to keep that in mind. So it's what I call theft of opportunity. So if we walk out with our computer, if we walk out with our phone and we leave it on the table and we turn around, it's a theft of opportunity. They're poor. Now, you can't blame somebody taking that opportunity. People are hungry and they see us foreigners showing off, so to speak, if I can call it that. We're driving our Lexus, not Lexus, Helixes. We're driving expensive cars, our motorcycles, and they see us going out, etc. So I'll show you some. A few weeks ago, I was in a community, And young guys were all drinking, having fun, which is great. I love it. Go for it. Have fun. But I tapped the shoulder of this gentleman, and he was already a little bit tipsy. And I said, I don't want to disturb, but I said, this is your phone. I had it in my hand. I said, this is your phone. I said, be careful. Yes. Put it in the front pocket, not in your back pocket, and keep your mind, okay? Yeah. Don't be so inebriated because you're asking for your own trouble. And then you cannot go, I got stolen. No, you got rolled, which is different because you were not paying attention to the environment you're in. To me, that's important. People don't realize that it can happen in New York. It can happen in Dallas. You cannot say, well, it happened in Nicaragua, so it's not safe. I say BS.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Absolutely. Okay? No, I agree. I went to Costa Rica and I felt very safe. So True. The good comparison is that I didn't realize that Nicaragua is more safe than Costa Rica, which for me, I guess more surprising to hear that.
Well, I'm putting a video up next week from a gentleman that came from Costa Rica, and he saw me walking down the street. He goes, Mr. YouTube. I go, okay, hi. And I always want to run, right? Because I don't know what's going to happen next. Yeah, I'm going to punch you one. And he goes, hey, my name is Oscar, blah, 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 blah. I said, how are you? And he goes, you probably don't remember. But I said, sorry, I don't. And we started talking. I said, do you mind if I take a video? And we just started chatting. He goes, I really like what you do. People have a misconception of this country. It's so safe. It is so nice to just walk around and enjoy ourselves, and which is very different because he was coming from Costa Rica. He said, here you have a different lifestyle than we have in Costa Rica. Your cost of living is lower. You have a better quality of life, which I agree with. Okay, we have a better quality of life. We could sit here and argue, because let's be honest, if another agent is listening and they're from Costa Rica, they're going to say, no, I disagree. But let's look at stats. Okay, let's look at World Bank, look at CIA, look at all these different platforms, and let's look at statistics. Let the statistics say it. So we're happy. We're happy. The only thing I would tell people, if you want to come here and you're feeling a little bit quasi, that you don't feel really, really safe, get a dog, but make that a outside dog. Get 2 dogs, okay? Because the dog gets used to you sleeping, and the dog hears something and he says, well, bloody hell, keeping in bed asleep, so I'm going back to sleep. Why should I wake up if they're not going to wake up? Yeah. So keep the dog outside of the bedroom then. Close the bedroom so the dog understands it, but mine stay outside. So every time they bark, I know something is going on.
Yeah.
So this is just a golden rule to us when we talk to expats. If you have a dog, train the dog, keep him outside.
Yeah. So that's good. Kind of wrapping it up here. Like, what's for you? What do you love most about Nicaragua? And would you ever move back to the States?
Bloody hell, no. You couldn't pay me. No, honestly.
I love it. I love it.
No, you couldn't. And it's simple. I have made a new life here. I have Nicaraguan friends. I got expat friends. I am very comfortable going to what we call the Nica market, a Masaya market, and go grab my groceries. I can literally fill a bag of greens for $10 I can do it for 10 days, right? Yeah. So my cost of living has reduced from $3,000-4,000 a month to less than $1,200. So my question back to you after that is, why would I go back? What is it that the U.S. gives me? I had a stroke from the stress. One person said this morning, well, the stress is different here. Yeah, it's different. It's more relaxed stress. It's kind of oxymoron to say that, but it's a lot easier. So $1,200 a month, it's easy to do.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, quality of life, I don't need a car. I need it because of my business. I don't need a phone, but again, I need it for business. But if I truly, truly retire and I'm done with real estate, first thing I get rid of is the car. I'll just use my bicycle or my motorbike. I don't need my phones. I just go and chill and just enjoy the local culture.
Yes. Do you get, I know when I went to Costa Rica, it's very, pura vida. This is saying,
Yeah. Pura vida. Yeah, we don't have that, but yeah.
What's the saying in Nicaragua?
We don't have that saying. That's a pity. They took it, and it's a smart move, marketing wise, very, very smart. But yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I should try to find a phrase that we can all gravitate to. But you know, we're the country of volcanoes. We're the country of lagos. We have the largest lake in Central America and Latin America, and in the Americas, it's the third, fourth largest. We have more landmass of Central America than anybody else. So, you know, if you don't want to see anybody, go to, the Caribbean area. You won't see people for weeks on end because there's so much land, right? So yeah, I mean, quality of life, the lifestyle you want to enjoy, come try it out. You know, rent. That's one thing that we truly tell everybody, rent for a while. If you want to buy, go do it. Rent for a while, rent at some different places and enjoy. Go out and meet people and talk to the local community.
Yeah. That's so good. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you, Paul, if they have any other questions?
Email. So that would be Daemen, DAEMENP for Paul, @gmail.com. Or call me on my U.S. phone, 316-390-1532. I had to think. Or you can call on my Nica phone, 505-8688-0125. Yeah, and I'm on WhatsApp, and I'm all over social media. I'm on YouTube, Facebook. Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome.
And enjoying it.
Yes, no, it's so good. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for all sharing some insight about Nicaragua, your journey, your story, and hopefully.
Well, you have to come here. You went to Costa Rica. I invite you to come here, stay in our property, and enjoy our lifestyle, and we'll show you that we are pura vida on steroids.
Yes, yeah, I love that. Okay, cool. Okay. I will.
Open invitation.
I will definitely take you up on that.
And remember, we got flor de caña.
Yeah, which
that's the rum, the number one rum, and we got a lot of coffee in this country.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Okay, man. Sounds good.
Thank you, Paul.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay.